the total WBC count. So let's talk a little about its function. WBC functions for the immune system, providing the body from pathogenic microorganisms or foreign antigens, protecting the body from these pathogens, microorganisms, or foreign antigens. WBC originates from your stem cells in your bone marrow. That is your hematopoietic stem cells present in your bone marrow, and develops to mature by the influence of growth hormones that are within your body and then released into the peripheral blood. And when it is released, it has a different types of cells are comprising of the WBCs or the leukocytes. They are segmental neutrophils. Segmental neutrophils, bands, eosinophils, basophils, lymphocytes, and monocytes. So you know what are all these cells. Granulocytes and agranulocytes are comprising of WBCs. All these cells that are released into the blood, saying as WBCs, are formed within the bone marrow. That is the hematopoietic stem cells within the bone marrow, and these cells are promoted for the development of WBCs by the growth factor. Now, WBC differential count, that is, this is what differentiates the each cells in WBC. How many cells are there, the total WBC count, and the differential count of each type of WBCs. Now, there are two counts that are relevant for knowing your WBC differential count. One is the relative count and the other is your absolute count. In absolute count, it is more specific to the quantity of the WBC. So the assessment of WBC is more relevant in your absolute count. What do you mean by relative count? It is the percentage of a particular cell among all the WBC count. There are in the neutrophils, eosinophils, basophils, lymphocytes, monocytes. All these cells are there within WBC. Out of that, if you take a particular cell from the WBC, total WBC count, and take its percentage, that is called as your relative count. And what do you mean by absolute count? From a particular cell type, it is determined by multiplying its percentage to the total WBC count. That means absolute count is equal to relative count into total WBC count. Now, they have given an example over here. If, for example, you find your total WBC count as 20 into 10 raised to 9 per liter. In a liter, the total WBC count is this much, and your relative count is for neutrophils 85% and lymphocytes are 15%. It is a percentage we have told already before. So how can you calculate the absolute count of each cell of your neutrophils and lymphocytes? For your absolute count in neutrophils, it will be 85%, they have said, as relative count. So 85 by 100 into your total WBC count. How much is the value? 20 into 10 raised to 9. That means N is equal to 17 into 10 raised to 9. That will be your absolute count. While lymphocytes, it will be 15 by 100 into 20 into 10 raised to 9, which is lymphocytes will be 3 into 10 raised to 9. So you can actually find out the quantitative assessment of each cells within your total WBC count. And each of these cells have a particular function. So according to the number which has to be normal, from that normalcy, if they vary, if they increase or decrease, you can understand there is a condition within the subject. So what we are going to talk about the different cells within the WBC and each of its functions and when they vary, what and all pathologies we can analyze. So WBC functions, neutrophils, eosinophils and basophils are included in a category of cells called granulocytes, which we already know about because of their prominent granules. However, they have different functions. So let's talk about the different functions of these cells.